Hello, Xai'nyy of planet Earth. This is Xai'nyy. Last episode we talked about the Xai'nyy powers, more like seeing yourself as a character in an RPG game. Another way you can look at yourself, though, is also as a bioship. And you can use one or the other, either thinking of yourself as a superhero character or of yourself as an awesome bioship, and both of these metaphors are really useful. This episode is going to be on the human design for Xai'nyy, and the metaphor of a bioship is particularly useful in this case because there are some heavier technical aspects to the human design, and so the thinking of yourself as a bioship will apply a lot in this case. But again, you can use any of these metaphors we talk about to discover yourself and discover what an awesome, powerful creature you are. We start off with the concept of momentum and modulation. Momentum is the gain of energy, and modulation is the curbing of energy. All mojos have 4 conscious powers. 2 of these powers will cause momentum, and 2 of these powers will modulate or reduce energy for the mojo. Think of it as a balancing system within the psyche. This is the basic binary flow that makes the ship do what it does, and it's based on being directive or adaptive, left brain or right brain. Directive mojos get momentum on the left and modulate on the right. Adaptive mojos gain momentum on the right and modulate on the left. The Xai'nyy mojo is an adaptive mojo because their top 2 powers of Xai and Nyi are adaptive powers, which start on the right side of the brain. This means that modulation for the Xai'nyy is going to be on the left side of the brain with their powers of Vi and Z. All mojos are either objective or subjective, meaning that their powers in the front of the psyche or their powers in the back of the psyche are weighted more heavily. For the Xai'nyy, their subjective powers are Xai and Vi, and those are weighted more heavily than their objective powers of Nyi and Z. So overall, the Xai'nyy are adaptive. They're weighted more heavily on the right side of the brain with their top 2 right powers, but then there's their sublayer in that they're more weighted towards the back because they're subjective. All humans have their perception or information gathering power located in the perception corridor, and the discernment or decision-making power located in the discernment corridor. For the Xai'nyy, their first power is the power of Xai. It's a discernment power, a decision-making power of values-based positions in this case, and since it is their first power, this means that the Xai'nyy are lead discerners. Within this discernment corridor, there are 2 channels, the values-based channel and the logic-based channel. Values-based channel is the channel that's concerned with emotive, humanistic interests and concerns, and that's what the top power for the Xai'nyy, the power of Xai, that's where it is located in that channel. It's a values-based power, a Zhez power, and therefore the Xai'nyy is a values-based mojo. In the secondary corridor for the Xai'nyy, which is the perception corridor, their top power is the power of Nyi. Within the perception corridor, there are 2 channels. There's the interpretive or pattern-based information channel, and there's the literal or detail-based information channel. For the Xai'nyy, their second power is Nyi, which is an interpretive power. It's a pattern-based gathering power of possibilities in this case. Therefore, the Xai'nyy is an interpretive mojo. Because the Xai'nyy have as their top 2 powers the powers of Xai and Nyi, and the way that they relate to the rest of the psyche, this gives them the energy fields that are adaptive, subjective, lead discernment, values-based, and interpretive. Another type of math that's layered on with these other maths to make up this beautiful human design is the fact that there are 4 considerations that you need to be able to address with just your momentum powers, just your 2 top powers. And these are perception, discernment, subjectivity, and objectivity. As a Xai'nyy, your Xai takes care of 2 considerations, the considerations of discernment or making decisions based on certain criteria, in this case values-based criteria, and also subjectivity, or a power that's oriented towards inward towards the self. Next, the Xai'nyyy's second power of Nyi takes care of the other 2 considerations, which is the consideration of perception or gaining of information, and also objectivity, or a power that is oriented externally, outwardly. The Xai'nyy have two compound relationships, which are based on the right and the left. You have the Xai'nyy compound, and that's a unique kind of compound. As we mentioned earlier in the Xai'nyy powers episode, the fact that these are in a compound makes each of the individual powers in the compound unique to the Xai'nyy mojo. Over on the other side, the left side, which is the modulation side for the Xai'nyy, there's the compound of Vi with Z, and again, that's also a unique compound. It's unique to the Xai'nyy because it's a compound of Vi with Z, and it's also unique because this compound of Vi-Z is underneath their primary or main compound of Xai'nyy. So unique and awesome. Next, we talked about the powers and what character classes they might be. Back here we have the Tower or Cleric character classes. Up here, the Gatherer or Rogue character classes. Back here we have the Wizard or Hunter. And up here we have the Fighter or Pilot. Now we're going to put this into more technical terms, which goes along with the ship metaphor that we've been going with. This priority here is the priority of compass bearings, which is all about gaining equilibrium when being moved around, either by gaining new information or by being jostled, impact. Whenever that happens, there's a need to gain equilibrium. So you can think of this as a suspension system, the compass bearings as a suspension system for the psyche. As a Xai'nyy, you have your first ranked priority as the compass bearings, and you use the power of Xai. This goes along with the character class of Tower or Cleric. Xai is a warm, resonating, values-based way of maintaining equilibrium, and using those powers that we've talked about, like hope, empathy, internalizing gut reaction, and all those other powers that go along with Xai. And these powers that Xai has allow for the suspension system for the Xai'nyy. The second priority is a priority of stimulus register, which goes along with the character class of Rogue or Gatherer. In technical terms, it's the gathering of information that is coming in from the environment. And so we call that the stimulus register priority. If you think about this as a ship, these would be your immediate sensors, like being able to look out of your front window or your side window, or being able to look at your console right there, immediate, and being able to sense what's coming in from the environment. That's going to be what we call the stimulus register. For the Xai'nyy, you have need to address this priority. The possibility gathering is your main way of gathering information from the external world your ship is flying through. Back here we have the priority that's based on worldview map. You can think of this as your map, your GPS system, the destination you're going to, your itinerary. You need to use this as well, and Xai'nyy use the power of Vi for that, which is a literal, fact, detail-based way of plotting your course through life with your ship. And finally, here we have the Pilot or Fighter class. In technical terms, you can think of this as a dynamics mover. It's like the steering of your ship. For the Xai'nyy, they use Z, so you have a logic-based power as your steering power. All these priorities can't be of the same rank within the psyche, because otherwise there would be a logjam. So the various character classes or ship priorities need to be ranked. As a Xai'nyy, your first priority is going to be the compass bearings priority, using the power of Xai. Your second priority is going to be the stimulus register, using the power of Ni. Your third priority is going to be that of the worldview map here, using the power of Vi. And the fourth ranked priority is going to be that of the dynamics mover over here, using the power of Z. We'll close out by revisiting the four powers you know already, but giving them some tech specs. So Xai is an adaptive, subjective, values-based discernment. It is the top-ranked source of power in the psyche for the Xai'nyy. It addresses the considerations of discernment and subjectivity, and addresses the priority of compass bearings. Xai is also major momentum for the Xai'nyy. It gives them the most energy. Xai'nyy can be thought of in technical terms as an adaptive, objective, interpretive perception. And it is second ranked or tandem power within the psyche for the Xai'nyy. It addresses the considerations of perception and objectivity, and addresses the priority of stimulus register for the Xai'nyy. Xai'nyy is also minor momentum, meaning that when Xai'nyy use this power of Xai'nyy, it will give them energy, not as much energy as the power of Xai, but certainly a lot of energy, and energy to power all the other stuff that the Xai'nyy do. Vi can be thought of in technical terms as directive, subjective, literal perception, and it is third ranked offside power in the psyche for the Xai'nyy. It addresses the priority of worldview map and is going to be minor modulation for the Xai'nyy, which means that it is going to cost energy, but not as expensive or costly as the major modulation. And Z can be thought of in technical terms as directive, objective, logic-based discernment. It is fourth ranked or polar power in the psyche for the Xai'nyy, and addresses the priority of dynamics mover. Since it's ranked as fourth or polar power in the psyche for the Xai'nyy, that means that it is major modulation for the Xai'nyy, which means that it is going to be expensive to use or costly, but a part of their peak pathway, so necessary for their development and peaking. So now you know of yourself as an alien, cool, magic creature RPG character, and also as a bioship equipped with the most cutting-edge technology that natural law has out there. Keep learning about yourself, keep watching these videos, and as always, know yourself, grow yourself, save the world, and watching these videos and learning everything in them is the way to do that.